lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I'm reviewing Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a children's, maybe young adult fantasy novel. Our main character in this is Sunny, who is an American-born albino who is living in Nigeria. She's just moved there. She feels like a complete outsider. She's having trouble making friends. So the world in Nigeria works differently. There are some people who live in more traditional houses, and then there are some people like Sunny's friend Chichi, who lives in an old-fashioned hut. There's also things going on, like the power in this area is not consistent. So sometimes they just randomly lose power, and that's like a normal thing for them. So they just adjust to having power sometimes, but also occasionally they're going to have to pull out the candles and find things to do that aren't playing video games. So it's cool to see Nigeria, but it's also really cool just to see Sunny trying to struggle and trying to fit in. And because she grew up in America, she's also this more Western viewpoint into the society. Like, she's our go-between. She's definitely a great introductory character to understand the society that maybe you weren't used to. So there are a lot of superstitions in this area about people who are albino, because they look very ghost-like, and so there are a lot of rumors that they are ghosts, or they can talk to ghosts, or they can become completely invisible, or they can, like, cross over into the other side and commune with dead people. But it becomes apparent that Sunny actually does have magic. She is one of the leopard people, which is what they call magical people in this society. And her friend Orlo recognizes it in her and introduces her to his teachers and some of his friends like Chichi and Sasha, who are other teenage magic users. And the four of them become this coven, this group that work together. And the others are all from families that can use magic and have taught her magic. And Sunny has a grandmother who did magic but has since passed, and so Sunny doesn't have any family members to teach her the ropes. So she's this outsider, this free agent. Things are a little bit more complicated for her also, just because she can't go to her family and talk about magic. She's not allowed to tell them. She doesn't have any support system. She's having to hide it from them. Magic in this world acts differently than our traditional European views also. So there are still spells that they're casting, but like they don't have wands. They actually have these things called juju knives, which are special knives that can like cut the air and actually cut the barrier between our world and like a magical realm. And so they're like pulling things out from the other side, and a lot of their spells come from like cutting things in a particular pattern while saying certain words, which was interesting to begin with. There is also some things that involve like laying out designs in the ground and having to draw certain patterns in the dirt. I love going into this and having like, it's sort of familiar and you can kind of see similarities to other things that I've been reading, like Harry Potter or the Percy Jackson books, but also it's got its own twist and its own take. I also love how incredibly dangerous this world is. Like, once she gets into the magic, like even just getting to the village where most of the magical people live and work is incredibly dangerous. Like, you can literally die just trying to find the realm that they're in. Some of her lessons could kill her, and that's not even dealing with the fact that there is a serial killer on the loose, which is kind of the main problem in this book. So there's a serial killer called Black Hat, and he has been abducting children. And the children come back, like their bodies are discovered, and they're like missing their eyes and stuff. Like every single one is following the same pattern. And as the book progresses, we find out that Black Hat can do magic. And so the leopard people need to take him out. And there's just the specific abilities that these four children have that make them stronger together. And together they can take down Black Hat when the adults can't, which is really cool. Each of the friends in this book also have their own unique personality and their own special abilities, and some of the problems can only be solved if they all work together and they all work off of each other. So teamwork is a huge part of this book. So we have Sunny and Orlu, who both go to a normal, non-magical school with normal kids, which is how the two of them meet. And Sasha's also spent some time in America, but he got himself into some trouble there, performing magic he wasn't supposed to be. And so his parents sent him to Nigeria to live with Orlo's family so that maybe he'll get some sense knocked into him. And then the last person in this group is Chi-Chi, who, her mother is this really, really powerful witch who can do all these crazy spells. She's really old. Like, we don't know how old either the mother or Chi-Chi are. But she has all these more traditional spells, and Chi-Chi's been studying them, and she's been learning them since the time she was born. And so Chi-Chi is, like, technically the most advanced person in this group. But she still also needs the others to do magic, and just for friendship, and being a kid, and hanging out. I love the fact that we get to go see the rest of the world, too, so we get to see the village of the leopard people, and there's also this one really big, festival that happens that we go to in the book, and we get to see people from across Africa come for this, and so we get to see other magic users. So it's a really rich, developed world. I think the characters are pretty well developed also, getting to meet not only Sunny, but her friends, and their teachers that they take, and the teachers that take them on. So they have, like, classes together, but then they also each specialize in a certain kind of magic, and so they have teachers in those special magics who, like, mentor them also. So in this book, there's definitely a few themes going on throughout here, like the not feeling like you belong and trying to develop your skills, and differences. Like, differences can be good, and, like, building off of them, like the things that the rest of society would see as weaknesses are actually strengths in the leopard community. Like, people who have dyslexia are actually more likely to be magic users. The fact that she's albino gives her certain powers, so that helps. Like, that's a really cool part of this. Sunny's family life is also interesting because she lives with her mom and dad and her brothers, but her dad didn't want a daughter, and the fact that she's an albino also, he doesn't really take to her, and he's abusive towards her. So it's interesting to see Sunny deal with being in an abusive family like that. So I really enjoyed Akata Witch. I love just seeing the world that they're in, like getting to see Africa, getting to see the magic society and the leopard people, and we have Sunny, who is American, and Sasha, who is also American, who are giving us this look into it also. But then we also have Orlu and Chi-Chi, who were born and raised in Nigeria, and this is all they've ever known, and there's, like, this good balance. So let me know in the comments below if you have read Akata Witch or Akata Warrior, and what you thought of them. Do you have any other book recommendations that I should be checking out? Any other of Nnedi Okorafor's books? I've already read and reviewed the Binti series, so those will be in the description below if you want to check them out. They are an adult group. Binti is definitely more of an adult novel. It follows somebody going into college, so heads up on that. Peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.